So if you want to see how to make this Ruinous Effigy into a mini Nova bomb, like a handheld Nova bomb, whenever you want, and turn it into a solid DPS weapon, a massive ad clearing weapon, taking advantage of all your void abilities, devour, elemental wells, all your aspects, all your fragments, getting some massive damage. Stick around and I'm going to show you the build. So this is my Ruinous Effigy build, and we're going to turn it into some massive damage and have the void explosions everywhere as you saw in the clips. I'll quickly run through the aspects and fragments pretty quickly, because what I always do is leave a dim link for the mods and setup, so you can just go ahead and click that link and it'll show you what I'm using, and you can just sort of copy the mods from there yourself if that's what you want to do. So I'll explain them pretty quickly. So these are my aspects: Child of the Old Gods, Feed the Void, I run that one to get my Devour activated all the time. That and Child of the Old Gods, so we get that little mini Void Soul to help you out as well. Them two together. My fragments, I run Echo of Domineering because I run a suppressor grenade. So every time I suppress something with Echo of Domineering, it's going to give me increased mobility. I quite like that on Warlock, get a bit of extra mobility every time I throw my grenade, hit something with it, the suppressor. Plus it gives me 10 discipline. Echo of Undermining, it's an obvious one to use, that one really, to be honest. Your void grenades weaken targets. I'm running Echo of Expulsion, void ability final blows cause targets to explode. That with volatile rounds is pretty eye catching, really strong. You should see void explosions everywhere. Plus it gives you 10 intellect. Echo of Leeching, melee final blows instantly start my health regeneration, so I quite like to run that one. This is the sort of mods that I run. I've based it around elemental well, so I can always get my volatile rounds going. So this volatile rounds, how this works: picking up a void elemental well grants your void weapons volatile rounds. That's all the explosions you see in the clips. I've done a couple of videos on it, but to proc that we always need to pick up elemental wells, and how we pick up and create the elemental wells is via this mod here, Elemental Ordnance, Void. If I'm on a Void subclass, all my Void grenade kills are going to spawn elemental wells, so pick them up and that's going to give me volatile flare. Another way that I use to create the wells is elemental armaments, weapon final blows. So any sort of weapon kill that I get with my Ruinous Effigy or any other void weapons, I think it's like a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 chance of spawning a well. So spawn wells via your void weapon kills. I also run Font of Might, so every time I pick up them elemental wells I'm going to get a 25% damage buff for 10 seconds. All stacks, works together. It all helps the volatile flare as well, the volatile rounds. So you're going to get a 25% damage buff every time you pick up an elemental well. With Font of Might on your void weapons if you're running a void subclass. Like I said, it all sort of works together, the volatile flare and the Font of Might. And I also like to run Mantle of Battle Harmony because this is a really good chess piece for this type of build, because whilst I've got my super, every void kill that I get, because it's matching my subclass, it's going to give you an extra bit of damage. I think that's an extra 10% also for a few seconds every time you get a kill. And obviously, as you've seen in the clips, and I'm running round using the Ruinous Effigy sphere, getting loads of kills, proccing that extra damage off the Mantle of Battle Harmony. And the best thing with that is it stacks with Font of Might, volatile flare, all stacks together, so you get round about a 35% damage buff, plus whatever you get from your volatile rounds as your extra damage as well. So it all stacks and works absolutely beautifully. And then the last sort of section of mods that I want to talk to you about is this one here, Well of Tenacity. So not only of what I just said all previously about the damage and the volatile rounds stacking together, this is just going to help keep you quite tanky as well. So every time I pick up that void elemental well, it's going to reduce the damage you take from combatants for a short period of time as well. That lasts for 5 seconds, and like I said in the clips, it doesn't always show on the left hand side because of the amount of buffs that this build gives you. You're going to see them all on the left hand side, and this one doesn't always show up, but I promise you it is there all the time. So as we're picking up the elemental wells, we're going to get damage reduction. We're going to get 25% extra damage from Font of Might. The extra damage that we get from Mantle of Battle Harmony. We're going to get Volatile Flow going, all working together really nicely. Back to these mods now, and I run this one, Energy Vampirism. It's really good mod. I don't see a lot of people using it. So every time I suppress an enemy, that's why I use a suppressor grenade. It gives me like quite a lot of my energy back on my lowest charged ability, so it's quite strong. Overload grenades, because I do like high end stuff, like towards the 1560, 1580 mark, a lot in game, we'll get a lot of overloads. Obviously it's quite handy. So yeah, that's the sort of build. And then with regards to your weapons and stuff like that, I like to run something with Osmosis in my primary, so I can get the Void on my primary as well. And then your heavy, you've got quite a few options. I've been running Corrective Measure at the moment with Firefly Subsistence. Really strong. I hope the video's been good. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, comment, like, and maybe a follow. Thanks for watching. So here's just a couple of examples and I've shown you the build, just always sort of proc it all working together. I'm going to throw my grenade, get me a grenade kill. That's the elemental ordnance. That's going to spawn me an elemental well over there. There's my sphere from the Ruinous Effigy. I've picked that up, and there's all my buffs going on the left hand side. I've got volatile rounds, which causes massive void explosions everywhere, and I've got my void weapon boost going and my Mantle of Battle Harmony pair going there as well. Absorption cells all stacking together, making an absolutely monstrosity of a build, all working together. Absolutely humongous damage, ad clearing, void explosions everywhere. The only thing that I will say is the Well of Tenacity, the one that I showed you earlier, the resistance one, that doesn't always show up on the left hand side, but trust me, it's there. It's always proccing as long as you're picking up these elemental wells. It just doesn't always show because of how many buffs are going on the left hand side, but it is there, I promise you. And you can just get like massive damage on the slams and on the numbers. You can see the numbers. I've used it on champions, unstoppable barriers, overloads. Once you've got all your stacks going, once you've had a play around with the build and the sort of chest piece, the Mantle of Battle Harmony, what you'll see is like once you've got like a damage stack going, which is quite easy to build up. Once you've got all your buffs going on the left hand side, the numbers you get are really strong. 120k, 127k damage. I think I get 110k in here just from the slam, so it's pretty decent. It's a solid build, good for ad clearance, good in certain situations for DPS also as well. And don't forget about the blocking on the transmutation sphere as well. So let me know what you think. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good day, take it easy.